In the game of chill, when winter comes, animals in the wild's watch are starving and cold. They decide to abandon their Lord Commander, John Squirrel, move south with all the remaining food, and leave him to die. Fortunately, Lord Commander John Squirrel has a unique talent to survive winter. He digs a burrow in the ground and enters hibernation. Up above, the late Lord Commander Jon Snow is watching and feels amazed. He turns to the Taoist philosopher Lao Tzu and asks, during hibernation, John Squirrel has very slow heartbeat, very limited blood supply, and near freezing body temperature, not much different from what I have suffered. How does he survive? Lao Tzu, also a fan of John Squirrel, puts on his 13-line lab coat and goggles and says, well, Jon Snow, since you are waiting, how about we look at these complicated issues step by step scientifically? John replies, but Lao Tzu, they say I know nothing. Lao Tzu smiles. We all need to know more about John Squirrel. Now, apart from the bleeding and organ damages, near freezing temperature alone can damage the microtubule cytoskeleton of your cells, such as neurons. Without neuronal functions, all men must die. To understand how mammals can adapt to cold, we must have good tools, Lao goes on. How about we generate induced pluripotent stem cells, or iPSCs, from you and John Squirrel? These iPSCs can then be further developed into various cell types. With that, Lao Tzu explains, changes in gene expression profiles of your cells and John Squirrel's cells in response to the same cold exposure can readily be compared. In addition, cellular changes following cold exposure are much easier to evaluate in a culture dish. John, do you know that cold triggers in you, but not in John Squirrel, stressful reactions in mitochondria, which are the power plants of cells, resulting in overproduction of reactive oxygen species and leakage of proteolytic enzymes from lysosomes, which are like waste processing centers in cells. These reactions will eventually harm other key cellular components, such as the microtubule cytoskeleton, so that the cells are unable to function normally. Aha! It seems that John Squirrel is like a fellow Taoist, one who believes sometimes no action is the best action. He survives cold stress probably by avoiding rigorous cellular reactions. How is that going to help me? Jon Snow is depressed. My cells don't practice Taoism, so how can I be saved? Chill out, John, says Lao Tzu. Although no one knows how to accomplish this in live humans, some drugs can reduce mitochondrial and lysosomal reactions against chilling. Pre-treating cells, tissues, or organs of human and other non-hibernators with these drugs can greatly preserve their cellular morphology and even functions following extended cold exposure. Going back to your issue, Jon Snow, says Lao Tzu, knowing the cold tolerance secrets in John Squirrel could further improve techniques of cold storage of donor cells, tissues, and organs awaiting transplantation. So even though you sustain damage to your organs from stabbings, organ transplantation can save your life. Fascinating. Jon Snow is now impressed. As the Red Woman miraculously brings him back to life, Jon Snow is a hero that now knows something. He realizes that scientific breakthroughs can benefit his people. Learning from John Squirrel and his iPSCs could not only teach us about cellular mechanisms of adaptation to cold, but also to other insults such as metabolic stress, hypoxia-reperfusion injury, and inflammatory damage, potentially allowing humans to harness protective effects for therapeutic uses.